Hey there, it's Anna Vaughn with Travel Mama Anna Vaughn, and this is part 2 of my 3-part series on the best of Puerto Escondido. We already did part 1 with the best of Bacocho and Rinconada, and I thought a lot about how to put this together, and I really think it's important that we do Centro. So the way that Puerto is laid out is there is the west side, Bacocho and Rinconada, and then there is the east side, which is Zicatela and La Punta. It's 2 very different mindsets, it's 2 very different types of tourists, it's 2 very different types of locals, and right in the middle, what divides them is Centro, which is the center of town. It's everybody has to go there. It's where you get your groceries, it's where the main market is, it's where the big everything store, Chedraui, which is Mexican Walmart, is there. There's a bunch of beaches in there, and there's some really great places to eat. I think the longer I live here, the more I am drawn towards the center. I think my favorite parts in terms of beaches are in the center. Some of the real sort of staple places to eat that really make this town special and really give it its local flavor are in the center. And even though tourists never go there, I think it's a really important part of town to show you. So today we're going to do part 2 of 3, and it's here in Puerto Escondido in El Centro. And before we get going, do me a favor, you can like this video, share it, subscribe, and even hit the little bell and get notified for when we upload. Okay, here we are on the Colectivo on our way into Centro. You just jump on the back of a truck there. It's about 10 pesos, takes you right into town. So the town is separated by a highway. There's the beach parts on one side. This is Chedraui. It's Mexican Walmart, although it is older than Walmart. It's basically an everything store. It also has a really bitchin' aircon, which is kind of key most of the year. And then we're going to the MERCADO here, this is the Mercado Benito Juarez. This is the main heart of town, I would say. Everything really revolves around this. They have flowers, fruits, vegetables, meats, cheeses. They got a kids' playground. You can get handmade plates. You can get trinkets for your house. They have some comedores here, some simple restaurants. And then there's also a lot of hardware stores and plastic stores that sort of surround it. This is really an important feature of Puerto. COCO Fam, probably one of the best taco restaurants in town, and it's a vegetarian and vegan restaurant run by a family right out of the back of their house. All the details are met here. It's really food made with love. And they just have a few things on the menu, like this amaranth and coconut milk drink, but it's really refreshing. These are the tacos. I mean, did I lie? Look at these things. They are just delicious, and everything is handmade from scratch. They also do some desserts, although they are healthy vegan desserts, so they don't have that full fat taste. Luna sort of eats them in a pinch. And because they have kids, they've got toys on site and a big area in the back that kids can play in, which is really lovely. Playa Manzanillo and Puerto Angelito are kind of one beach, but they're split into 2 sides. This is the Puerto Angelito side. It's where the boats are, the fishermen come in, and the better restaurants are on this side. And there's a little bridge that goes over the rocks. And see, this is Manzanillo on this side, and as I turn, Puerto Angelito on the other side of the bridge. I like to hang out in Manzanillo. I mean, the ceviche and the cheladas are good on either side, but it's kind of a little version of Carrizaleo. We've got these rocks on the left-hand side, which are cool to go and explore with kids. Homemade ice cream like anywhere else, and it's a nice little beach day. Smoked fish tacos, or El Viejo, is basically an institution here in Puerto. It's near the Agencia, right smack dab in the middle of town. Juan, who owns it, is older gentleman now, but he was a famous surfer at one point, and he also has a fish smoker and basically smokes most of the fish in town. Now we're in Centro, right down the middle. Cafe La Fe is really the only spot here to go. It's got good Wi-Fi, and it's got a great little garden in the backyard, which is lovely for an afternoon. It's next door to this place that has a fabrica and makes bedspreads and other Oaxacan table spreads and stuff. This is the best place in town to get one of these for sure if you want to take one home. Now we're on our way to the ADOQUIN. There's a series of staircases that lead from the upper part down to sort of sea level through the ADOQUIN. They're all stone, they're all gorgeous, and they're not used as much anymore. We love our garbage separating here in Puerto, very mindful. Bahia Principal is the main beach. So it's flanked by Zicatela on one side and then the rocks that lead to Manzanillo, Puerto Angelito on the other. This is like the main locals beach, and it's also the big one during Semana Santa. It's also one of the dirtiest beaches in Mexico during Semana Santa, which kind of sucks. All the fishermen go out from here. I would say this is like the pièce de résistance here in Puerto Escondido. It's like a pathway that leads from basically where the Rinconada starts all the way to Bahia Principal. And now from here we're taking it back the back way from the main beach, kind of homeward bound. It's a stone walkway that was built here before there was foreign tourists. This was really made by Mexicans for Mexicans, but still a tourist walk. It's gorgeous, it's beaten down, it's, you know, eroding, but look at this. I mean, it's pre-60s, I would say. They got some great lookout points, really nice cactuses, or cacti, sorry. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And it really, you get this feeling like you're walking along a secret path somewhere. There's points like here where the stairs sort of lead down to the rocky part of the beach. You can come down the promenade and hang out. They used to sell COCOs and beers here. This is also part of the stone walkway that connects this part of the beach over to the ADOQUIN. There's still a lot of old hotels, some of them being used and some of them, you know, derelict, that kind of lead up to these staircases. They're also mostly made of stone. It's a real sort of locals part of town where you can tell that the people that live there have lived there generations. Now we're in El Faro, my favorite part of Puerto. This is the primary school, which is actually right next to a cemetery called El Bosque that we're coming up to here. And they don't bury people in here anymore, but all the sort of original settlers were buried here because this was really the original part of town back when the Rinconada was still the airstrip. This is actually the headstone of, it says the first like business owner of Puerto. I thought that was really cool. And then it kind of ends at this lookout. And the lookout here, the Mirador, this is where the path begins that takes you over. It's a really great gem. And that's the end of part 2. Join me next week for part 3.